Nadeem is just about to give us the background on the Taj.
So the wonderful place in front of you, Taj Mahal, that was constructed by an emperor. His name was Shah Jahan. He was the fifth emperor from the dynasty known as Mughal dynasty, and he constructed the place for the wife. Name of the wife was Mumtaz. When you talk about the background of the lady, she did not came from any royal family. Her father name was Asaf Khan, and he was a minister on a small designation. But when he arranged education for the daughter, that was arranged like a princess for her. And when the lady grown up, she also developed all royal qualities in her life. Emperor saw the lady for the first time in the market of Meena Bazaar, which was organized once a month within the fort of Agra. And in the market, only the ladies were the buyers and the ladies were the sellers. The males were not allowed to enter the market. But what Emperor do? He disguised himself like a woman and entered the ladies' market. And there he saw Mumtaz, and when he saw her, he was in love with her, but cannot talk to her because he this way, because he's being dressed like a lady. So he decides to meet her after a few days of that. There he proposed her, and they got married in the year 1604. When they got married, Emperor was 21 and she was 19 years of age. They lived happily for 19 years together, and in those 19 years, she gave birth to 14 children.
14 children.
In 19.
No TV, no
And she died. She died when she was giving her birth to the baby. But at that time, she was not enjoying herself in any palace. She was in a battle camp in the city called as Burhanpur, which is in central India. Reason, Emperor was conducting a military operation against his own governor who rebelled against him. The city called as Burhanpur, which is in central India. But he loved the wife very much and his elder daughter Jahanara. So when you go from one place to another, you always take the wife and the daughter. So even at the time of the battle, they were with Shah Jahan in a battle. Then she gave birth to the 14th kid, and then she fell seriously ill. And when Emperor got to know about her, he quickly go to meet her. And when he saw the wife in such a pain, he became very sad. He said close to her and asked her, like, what should I do to prove this, that I love you the most in this world? She expressed three wishes on her dying bed. First, you love all my children equally. Second, you would be generous to my parents. And third, you do something so the world will remember our love forever. And that is why we decided to construct a Taj on our tomb as a token of the love, so the world will remember the love. Just to make the love eternal and immortal. That was not a wish of her. She didn't wish for a monument. This was his idea to construct a mausoleum for her so the world remember the love forever. And after 400 years, you people are the witness of it. So that's why the
That's magnificent.
Then she passed away. Her remains got buried first near the battlefield, the place where battle was going on. Once the battle was over, Emperor was back in the city Agra where you are today because this was the capital city. But once he came to the capital city, he stopped meeting the people, stopped taking the royal course. He always wondered about his wife. He just isolated himself. But his daughter talked to him like, if you live your life like this, how are you going to fulfill the dream of my mother? You made a promise with me. Then he called a historic court in the fort of Agra and passed one notice around the world that whoever is going to bring a model of a monument, like to build on the tomb of my wife, I'll give that man a huge amount of money. And people started coming from all over the world, like a quite an open competition. They came from all over the world, presenting on different models. Finally, Ustad Isa Afandi came from Persia and showed a model of Taj. Once he got the model, he decided to build Taj on this piece of land, brought the remains of Queen from that city Burhanpur to Agra and buried her in the corner garden. Before that building is a mosque, which is still an active mosque. That's why tomorrow Taj is closed, it's Friday. And the mosque is facing towards west because the holy place Makkah is in West Korea. And a building on that side is just the mirror image of the mosque, but that is facing east cannot function as a mosque in India that have been raised only to maintain the symmetry. Symmetry is one of the decorative motifs of flower. What is the issue? Then her remains have been transferred to the place where she is still resting, and the Taj is constructed upon. It's a square platform of white marble, 95 meters by 95 meters. It's a perfect square platform. Then 4 minarets were done. When you give a close look at the minarets, what you notice, they're not straight. All 4 minarets 2.5 degree tilted up with purpose. If something happened like earthquake, they will fall away from the monument, not on the monument, so will cause no damage to the simple structure. Furthermore, Taj Mahal stands, the foundation of Taj Mahal. Underneath there are water wells. On top of the well, they have used the wood. It's a special kind of wood. When you put that wood in water, it's never rotten in the water. As the time goes on, it's become softer and stronger. So how the bases are brick? Well, wooden rings and then brick bases. In case of earthquake, when it shakes, the wood acts like a shock absorber, and nothing will happen to Taj after. When you consider the shape of the monument from outside it's an irregular octagon structure, but when you enter inside the monument, it is in pure octagon shape. Height from bottom to top 73.5 meters. Each minaret is 39 meters. Can you see the writing written with the black letters? It's a chapter from the whole book of Muslim. The name of the chapter is Surah Yasin, which is considered as the heart of the Holy Book. So the heart of the Holy Book is written on Taj Mahal. And something special about the calligrapher, when you see the size of letters from bottom to the top, the size of letters look same. If one has got knowledge to read it, he could read from bottom to top without having any difficulty of vision. What they have done, they've constantly increases the size of letters as they go up. So size of letters at the top are bigger than at the bottom, but they have beautifully maintained the perspective. You can't judge it, but you can read it from bottom to top. And that is not painted, that is black onyx stone, which is inlaid in the mountain. All the patterns you see like flowers and runners, nothing is painted, that is inlaid of real semi-precious stones in the even at the gate, even on the white marble. Construction of the place started in the year 1631, that was 6 months after the death of the queen. From there it took 22 years to be done, so 1653 the monument was completed. The cost of monument in those days was 40 million rupees. 40 million rupees when 12 gram of gold worth 15 rupees in India. And today 12 gram of gold worth nearly 30,000 rupees. So it's a big inflation from 15 rupees to 30,000. At that time it cost 40 million rupees to build Taj.
What's that equate to in today's dollars to build this?
You can say like it's around 3,000 times as per the inflation.
Yeah.
And 20,000 people as labor and craftsmen who work here for 22 years. No slaves, no bounded labor, all were paid according to the skills. The white stone out of which it is made up of, Indian marble, come from the place Makarana. If I'll ask you all, from which part of the world, which country you think the best and the famous marble come from? Any idea, any guess? The world's most popular marble?
India?
Have you heard about Italian marble? Carrara, that's the world's most popular marble. But the best marble is Indian Macarana. When you compare the two, Italian marble is such a soft marble you could scratch it with your nail tips. Indian marble, if you try to scratch it down with a coin or chisel, it's too hard that metal came off, not the marble. Hardest in the world. Second thing, Italian marble is porous. If you spill something, it absorbs and stains. Indian marble is the only marble which is non-porous, never absorbs and never gets stained. And third quality of Indian marble, it's translucent. Like if you put flashlight on one side, the light passes. So this is the best quality of marble one could find anywhere in the world. The second beauty is the inlaid of gems. Because if it is painted, the color won't last so wonderfully for 400 years. And third is the with the limited sources of equipment. Once Emperor finished this place for the wife, after 5 years of completion of that, he was 66 years old. He make an announcement that I want to take a retirement from the politics and I want my eldest son as the next emperor of the country. But in total he has got 4 sons and this leads to war of success among the 4 brothers. Son number 3, his name was Aurangzeb. He defeated his 3 brothers. After defeating the 3 brothers, he put his father in prison and become the new emperor. So the man who built Taj, he was a prisoner by his own son for last 8 years of his life, and at the age of 74, he died as a prisoner. And when he died in prison, the daughter bring his body from the prison room and buried him as well inside. And when you enter inside, you see 2 tombs. A smaller tomb in the perfect center of the Taj, that's the tomb of Mumtaz. A bigger one on the left, that's the tomb of Shah Jahan. And that's the only thing in the entire complex which is not symmetrical. So the man who works on the symmetry of Taj, he himself becomes asymmetrical. But the 2 tombs we will see today are the replicas. Originals are downstairs, which is So I hope you understand the story well.
Yes.
Any questions regarding the place?
Is there a toilet in there?
Yes, but it's not that way.
Oh man,
The
come
gate,
on.
the corners